Hi, my name is Bob and I'm renovating this 1973 Egg Harbor Sportfish boat. Well, hello, welcome to Renovation Sportfish. I decided to do a little supplemental video here. This supplements video 14. My fiberglass video. I got a comment on there. I was asking about the material, and made me realize that I actually cut out all of the footage I shot describing the materials. I never put it in, or I put it in, but I cut it out because I thought the video was too long. But I cut out a little too much, like all of it. So, anyways, prompted me to make this little video. I'm gonna go over the material I used. Basically the fiberglass I used, and why I chose it. I'm also going to include a test I did, and that was also in the video, number 14 there. And I cut that out right at the last minute because I didn't think it was thorough enough. And it was just like a drop test, just a garage test of me testing out the material. And so I've kind of finished that off, and I'm going to include that here too. And then lastly, since I'm here on the boat, I'm going to be working here today, or try to. I'm going to go over some of the stuff I did in the last month or so, because it was fiberglass on the transom here behind me. And so we'll just go through that a little bit. It's like 100 degrees in this boat today, and I got the fan turned off because I'm doing this video. But anyways, let's start with the fiberglass material selection. I'll start really by describing the boat construction again, because that's what dictates what you're going to use, really. And so behind me here, you see the hull, and it's made of just woven roving. There's no core material, just solid fiberglass here. The only part they actually added some supplemental plywood or stiffeners anywhere is back in the transom here. They added some 3/4 inch plywood right here, and then down in here they added some 1/2 inch plywood. So other than that, it's basically a fiberglass boat. I'm sitting on a stringer here. This is plywood wrapped in woven roving, and that's really what consists of the fiberglass on this boat. Now, once I got this hull built and got the stringers in and everything, the fiberglass guys could take a vacation. I mean, it was time to bring in the carpenters, because the rest of the boat is all wood. So the structure, for the most part in the boat, besides the actual hull itself, is wood. Now, from the factory, all they fiberglassed of this wood was the Flybridge deck up there, the foredeck, and the gunnels. And so, and it was pretty thin fiberglass at that. Now, this being the Renovation show here, channel, I'd like to improve on that somewhat. So my idea was to fiberglass everything in the boat that's on the exterior. So any surface that's going to be painted that's on the exterior is going to be fiberglass first. So I had to find a material that had 3 qualities. Basically, it had to be lightweight, because I'm going to be adding a lot of it. It had to be able to conform to curves and things like that, corners, tight corners, and it had to have some really good abrasion resistance to it. And that's what I found this material Zinol, and it seemed to check all those boxes off for me. And that's why I chose to do it. Now, I wouldn't use this material to do anything structural. It's not really intended for that. It's really just to protect the surface from any kind of abrasions, like I said. And everyday things, dropping things, bumping into it with stuff, all that kind of stuff. So for me, I put 2 layers of it on all the walking surfaces, and 1 layer of it everywhere else. For structural stuff, I would use something like 1708, which is what I used back here, which I'm going to talk about in a little while here. But yeah, this material is strictly for cosmetics and to keep things, especially the wood, from being gouged and things like that. So now I'll show the clip of the test that I did on this material, and you can see how it performs compared to just plain old wood. Alright, I thought I'd throw this little test in here. So this is the back of the plywood, and it represents what the boat would have been like. Not on a horizontal surface, but on the vertical surface, just wood. And I got this, pretty good sized screwdriver. I'm not going to drop it from above the camera. I'm only going to drop it, it's a Phillips head too, by the way. I'm only going to drop it, probably 2 feet. And we'll see what kind of damage it does to the actual plywood. And so, I don't know if you can see it. I'll try to bring it in, and you can see right here, it put a pretty good dent in it. So now we'll flip the piece over. And I've never tried this before, and I'm kind of curious myself how good this stuff is. Now this is only 1 layer, and all the decks are done with 2 layers, so it's going to be a lot more protection than what's here. But I'll do the same screwdriver now. It just dents it. Of course I get egg on my face, and I'll have to repair it before I put epoxy on it, but let's see, I'll do the same thing. Now, it didn't dig in. I'll bring the camera to the piece. You can see a little mark right there, but it didn't go into the wood at all. It's just a little ding. So now we're going to do the drop test on plywood with 3 coats of epoxy. Hasn't been sanded. There's a dent right here, but that was just a test run I just did. But I didn't have the camera set at the right setting, so it didn't come out good. So I got to try it again. So we'll discard that and we'll try it again. So that's the one I did before, and this is the one I just did. And it's pretty deep. I'd say it's just as deep as the one I did with just the wood. So the fiberglass definitely does something. Okay, so now that you have seen the test, you've heard about my material choice, now you know about as much about fiberglass as I do. Now we'll just talk a little bit about what I've been doing this summer, or the beginning of the summer. Now it's been super hot here in Connecticut. It's been a record month in July for heat, and August is no different. This is August 20th, 2019, and I haven't been over here too much to work on the boat just because it's been too darn hot. But I did, my intent this year was actually to get all this cockpit framing redone, and I got a lot of it done. It's not in right now. It's all going to be kind of removable except for this area in the back here. And I just started doing this framing again. And so this weekend I'm hoping to put a dent in this, maybe attach the pieces back here permanently. But what I really wanted to show was this piece of the transom back here. Now this hole, there's no hole here right now because it's covered up with fiberglass, but this is where the muffler goes through. Same on port side, starboard side here we're on. I'll bring you over here so you can see what I'm talking about. So we've got this piece here that I replaced, but from the factory they fiberglassed over all this other stuff over here, but this piece, for some reason, they didn't fiberglass it. They left it. It was fiberglassed a little bit on the bottom, down in here, and you know, some on the top, and then a little on this edge here, and that's it. And so it all delaminated and rotted. Both sides, same thing. So I had to take the mufflers off, take it out, clean it all up, and cut a new piece. So I put these transition pieces in as well, just so the fiberglass would have something to, you know, transition to. The factory didn't have that. They just had it going from one to the other, and it was kind of wasn't touching anything. It was kind of just out in space there. But anyways, that's what I've been working on, and got both sides done finally. Kind of wasn't on my radar until I took the deck off, and then I decided I better fix that before I start doing deck framing. So I'll stand up here. Yeah. the whole deal, as long as we're here. So yeah, these pieces here are what I'm going to be messing around with this weekend. So anyways, it's not going to be the episode this week. This is just a supplement from last week's. Should have been in last week's. And so this will come out, and then by the weekend I'll have the first episode that's going to include projects I did in 2015. So for now, have a good one. We'll see you very, very soon here on Renovation Sportfish.